Hey everybody, welcome back to The Witcher 2. So we now need to follow Scalen and go to this war council. So I think that's probably a good place for us to start. Let's go ahead and do that. I want to make sure that if anybody at the war council has anything to say to me, that they have the opportunity before we get too bogged down with other stuff to do in the city. So, you know, we're gonna try to appease everybody, naturally. We're Witchers. We care about people. Ish. Whoa! Okay, this seems a little bit sketch, but...
Look, another one. You let one human in and in no time, you've got a swarm.
Ants there.
I heard human women need only sit astride a man's pants for their bellies to puff up.
Looks like there might be some fights to be had here, that's for sure.
This shall be your chamber, Witcher. They say Selkirk of Gullet himself slept in this bed before battle. Didn't bring him any luck, but at least he was well rested before he died. Need anything else? Thanks, Scalen.
Okay, I was gonna say, this doesn't seem like a great place for a war council, but it's temporary. These are our quarters, so that's cool. We will leave and head directly to the war council. The Cauldron is the name of this fine establishment.
Take care, what's up?
He travels the lands, killing monsters for coin.
Where's he got those glistening eyes?
Sorcerers.
Like, I'm right here, guys. You don't need to talk about me as if I'm not right here. Is it outside or is it inside? It must be outside. Let's see. We are here. Oh yeah, it's way outside. So I finished reading this short story in the Sword of Destiny called Shard of Ice. And yeah, actually really interesting. It's mostly about the battle for Yennefer's heart. Between Geralt and this other wizard named Istred, I believe, which is a very manly wizardly name, and yeah, it's kind of strange because it's not strange. I guess it just sheds real light on Yennefer and her beliefs about monogamy and stuff like that, and clearly she is not a fan. We'll talk more in a second.
You missed quite a scrap, gentlemen, and an opportunity to slay a monarch. There was a struggle and the prince was wounded.
You've all seen the magical phenomenon covering the battlefield. For any who still have doubts, this is no mundane mist, nor a petty fairground illusion. Most likely, we're up against a blood curse, an old and powerful spell. We do not know who cast it or why. For now, I have one piece of good news and several pieces of bad news. The good news is that Henselt and his army have been halted for the time being.
And the bad news?
The mist will grow. It may even engulf Vergen. Furthermore, wraiths may emerge from it.
Can they be made penitent? With an axe to the head?
In theory, yes. But I would suggest putting your faith in a silver weapon. Furthermore, the ghosts will weaken as they move away from the mist.
Is there any way to drive it off? Exorcise it?
A question for myself and Geralt of Rivia.
The Kingslayer?
Contrary to what old women at the wells say, he did not, in fact, slay any kings.
Of course he didn't. Wouldn't hurt a fly, that one. Look at his eyes. You'll see he's the sensitive kind.
Whatever you
Somebody
may
gets
see
me.
in his eyes,
Good.
few know more about lifting curses. Gentlemen, I do not require you to understand this phenomenon, but there are a few rules I insist you must follow.
Here we go.
No one is to approach the mist. It is mortally dangerous. In addition, we need to learn the story of the battle. For this, I especially count on the aid of Mr. Cecil Burden.
At your service, milady.
Thank you. To lift the curse, we require some objects symbolic of the war. Ones belonging to those who perished here 3 years past.
Pfft. More scrap iron from that massacre lying about than lice in Cecil's beard. I thought curses were best handled with...
Please leave the thinking to me, Mr. Zigrin, and I'd gladly hear less from you from now on. The objects must be magically active and strictly linked to the ghosts of the fallen. That is all.
Let me be clear. You're all to aid Philippa and the Witcher. What are you grumbling about now, Yarpen?
It's something in my gullet.
Take a swig of wine. Now, to worldly matters.
Probably the other half of his
How many are we?
Saskia, you know well.
How many?
We dwarves are near 200. But don't judge us by our number.
1,500 peasants will come, though you'll get no precise count.
My lords?
53 knights and another 200 armed men. Not enough.
Henselt leads 5,000, 5 to 1 against us. What think you of that?
We are few, they are many. But we have our walls, low though they be. If we had archers, who knows?
Oh, for a regiment of heavy arbalists from Lyria.
We have something better. Yorvith's elves. Scoia'tael.
Okay, here's the connection.
Gentlemen, I give you Yorvith.
What do you seek here, murderer?
100 of the North's best archers await your orders, Dragon Slayer.
You wished for archers, here they are. I take no pleasure in fraternizing with elves. But even a shit-coated stick can be a weapon. He burned down the villages of many in my horde.
The free peasantry is one thing, but a criminal with a price on his head in all the Northern realms? This is too much.
Saskia, say the word and we'll depart.
Hear me out. Yorvith came to fight for me. I trust him, and I know that he'll stay the course. Just like each of you.
How could you know that? He's an elf. Treason runs in his veins.
He's been fighting humans for a century.
But for the first time in scores of years, his fight makes sense. The Scoia'tael know no peace. They've died for Nilfgaard, for the Valley of the Flowers, in vain. They've been betrayed and cheated. Now they have a new goal. The Pontar Valley could be the first state where no man would have to fear elven arrows when venturing beyond city walls. And elves and dwarves wouldn't live in ghettos or on reservations. First, however, we have a battle to win. You know who we're up against. It's a splendid army, brave and well led. They cannot be scared off or routed. They have to be killed. I want Yorvith to sit at the same table as we do. I want him to kill Cadweni for us. And I assure you that he'll do so with a smile, if only you let him.
If I'm to see a smile on that skinny face, I'm in. Yorvith stays.
Bloody hell. Father's turning in his grave, but a must's a must. I say aye. Nay.
You killed my men,
Real.
elf. Remember them?
If I hadn't killed them, they'd have killed me.
All right. For the sake of better times, and for Kedwin's doom, aye!
Down with the sons of bitches! Cheers!
I really like her. She is really cool. No! Oh, are you
Poison.
kidding?
She's dying. Take her somewhere safe and guard her with your lives. I'll gather what I need and join you soon.
Oh,
I'll
come
place
on.
my best warriors on watch.
Quickly, lads! A litter!
She ceased casting spells.
Saskia, is she alive?
In a manner of speaking, I've slowed her life functions as far as possible. Her condition is stable.
What was the poison, or where did it come from?
Do you know the poison?
Thaumadour, commonly known as mage pain. It has a terrible reputation.
An antidote must exist.
What can we do?
Treatment will require herbs, magic, and blood.
Not ordinary blood, I presume.
Correct. We require royal blood.
We could use Letho right now.
Why do you need blood
the nearest
exactly?
king is on the other side of the Mist of Wraiths.
You misunderstood me. It need not be the blood of a ruling monarch. It is the genotype contained in royal blood that is required. Kings issue from ancient dynasties. Over the ages, to survive, rulers needed exceptional resistance and strength. As royal dynasties rarely admit common blood, the strength of their genes remains great. I shall employ self-healing genetic therapy that will teach Saskia's body how to rid itself of the poison.
You'll have her drink human blood.
No, I shall inject it directly into her heart.
Whoa.
What kind of herbs are we talking about?
I'll need a subterranean variety of purple foxglove, known to the dwarves as the Immortelle, and an elven rose of remembrance.
Another one. Okay. I know Triss does have a rose, but where do I look for
Where will we
Immortelles?
find Immortelles?
They grow deep beneath the earth, which should not be a problem as Vergen lies on top of a mine.
How will they help Saskia?
Mage pain wreaks havoc in internal tissues. The Immortelle will help restore them.
Triss had a rose of remembrance. She claimed the flowers are exceptional.
Long ago, the Enshe who succeeded in cultivating the roses enjoyed great respect,
Times have changed.
as have elves.
There are no elven gardens nearby.
That's a good point.
We must return to Flotsam.
Triss has a rose of remembrance from Flotsam. It's her we need to find.
So what else do you
to heal
need?
Saskia?
Thaumadour is a self-perpetuating substance. Any incursion into a cluster of poisoned cells causes an immediate chain reaction. Each tainted cell that is removed is replaced by 10 new tainted cells. To interrupt this reaction, I'll need an ungodly amount of the power. A water or air genie, or one of the 20 legendary rings of power would be best.
One to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them.
Right. And then I'll have to run
That's cool, a
barefooted
little
to the
Lord of the
top
Rings.
a volcano.
All right, all right. Let's forget the rings. I need a vast quantity of the power, no matter the source. Find something.
An immortelle, a rose of remembrance, royal blood and magic sounds like a fairy tale.
A poor one at that. No prince's kiss to top things off.
I wish it were a fairy tale, especially a poor one, as a happy ending would then be inevitable. May I count on your help, Geralt?
You may. What about the Battle of Wraiths?
I must first see if the spells keeping Saskia alive are in order. Then we'll consider how best to send the spectres to their rest. Actually, you could tend to that yourself. Ask the locals about the battle. Maybe you'll learn something.
In that case, I shall search for the poisoner.
I mean, I wonder if there's a little bit of unrest regarding Yorbeth, because he shows up, boom, she's poisoned, right? Like, not a good scene. Okay, find Zoltan at the inn. Let's go ahead and just develop a little bit here. Let's go. We have 4 talents? I thought... How did we get 4 talents? That's interesting. Okay, well, we'll take sword damage. And then now we can get 2 in whirl. So additional opponents take 100% damage, which is what we want anyways. And then I'm thinking we could go, well, we have to go vitality at some point. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab vitality. All right, so let's review. We've got a lot going on already. Look at this. To call Philippa Eilhart a healer is like calling a drowner an advertiser of swimming. Nonetheless, Philippa was a sorceress, a powerful one at that. Though healing was not her specialty, she could help the poison Saskia. To create a cure, she needed special ingredients, a dwarven immortelle among them. Geralt started the search with asking one of his dwarven friends staying in Vergen, Zoltan, for he was said friend, tarried in the local inn. Also hunting magic, so talked to Philippa at her home. Having been poisoned during the council meeting, Saskia was dying and nearly everyone who supported her cause now prayed for her health. Among her allies, however, were those who did not believe in gods, or at least in divine intervention. Lady Eilhart, the kind of woman who rolled her sleeves up and started casting spells when things got tough, fit this description. So when Geralt learned that a magical artifact was one of the ingredients for the Dragon Slayer's cure, he reasoned that Philippa would be the ideal consultant. Therefore, he decided to have a chat with her at her house. Okay. Royal blood. It's a shame Philippa didn't demand a crocodile's tears or a sorceress's smile as ingredients of the antidote for Saskia. I believe the Witcher would have had an easier time obtaining either of those, definitely. As it was, he had to acquire some royal blood, literally. There's only 2 potential donors in the area, Henselt and Stennis. It looks like we're going to Stennis. Triss, further reading will tell you that Geralt accomplished a lot in Edirne. He fought wars, killed monsters, obstructed kings, and caused unhealthy arousal in sorceresses. You have to keep in mind, however, that his priority was finding Triss. Sorceresses, as all other women, do keep in packs. Thus, in his search, Geralt headed for Philippa Eilhart's house. Unhealthy arousal, however, was out of the question in that case. The Eternal Battle. Find the Dunbanner Standard and Vandergriff's sword, then see Philippa about the remaining artifacts. In the world of wraiths, only those relics the swords had a connection to in life have any meaning. After conferring with Philippa Eilhart, Geralt ascertained that he would need items symbolizing ideas linked to a war, specifically objects representing hatred, courage, faith, and death. The Witcher thus embarked on a search for the Dunbanner Standard, believed to be the symbol of death, and for a sword that had belonged to the infamous commander named Vandergrift, purported to symbolize hatred. The sorceress promised to find a medallion symbolizing faith and a fragment of a suit of armor that had belonged to the brave Seltkirk. Okay. A matter of life and death. Find a rose of remembrance, a source of power. So these are just combinations of all of the previous ones. And bring it on Vergen. Defeat Yarpen Digrin and Sheldon Skaggs at arm wrestling, which is obviously quite important. So, couple of quick things as we walk back towards the inn. A couple people were asking, well, do you even remember your first playthrough? Yeah, I do. Maybe you're getting that impression because I don't talk about it a whole lot.
People of Vergen, we have a magical mist full of ghosts just outside our walls, so you'd better think twice before entering it. The mist, may the plague take it, threatens all manner of creatures, so anyone headed to the quarries or walking through the gullies should take exceptional heed. The squirrels that have made camp by the burnt huts are not our enemies, so says Saskia. So it is. Master Geralt of Rivia and Sorceress Philippa Eilhart will deal with the mist and the wraiths. And now, open the gates and get to work.
Good speech. Good speech. So yeah, I do remember a lot of my first playthrough, not every single detail, obviously, but the reason I don't talk about it a lot is because I kind of am treating this as a separate entity. If I am constantly referencing what's happening on the other side, it's kind of weird. Just know in the back. Fair enough. Just know in the back of your mind that, yeah, there's certain things that I do catch the references to, and it's very obvious the links between the two stories at different points. So, I just wanted to give you a heads up.
What's going on?
I'm Elias, of Yorveth's commando. I have an urgent matter.
Tell me.
Men from Vergen have been disappearing for some time. We recently found some of their corpses, so it doesn't seem to be desertion.
Okay, what state were the corpses in?
They're all buried.
Where?
Beneath a mound in the forest behind Vergen, but you shouldn't go there.
Why not?
Desecrating graves is a serious offense. The families of the dead will be furious.
What state were the bodies in?
They looked gruesome. Nothing an elf would have done, nor a human.
Okay, and where did you find the bodies then?
Where did you find the bodies?
In different places, mainly in the burned village near the ravine that leads to the town.
Okay. And the victims are all male?
Men among the victims?
Young men. humans and elves.
Could be anybody, but what are you gonna give me if I help you?
You'll get your reward. Do well, and I may give you something more than coin. We're losing good men.
I'll see what I can do.
Go to the burned village or examine the corpses in the catacombs beyond Vergen. Okay. Looks like a notice board here as well. So what are we doing? We've got a HARPY contract. Good folk of Vergen and all visitors, since so many intrepid swords and champions, so many causes have gathered in Vergen, perhaps one would perform a public service by going to the HARPY lair and exterminating the creatures once and for all. That's probably a good place to farm for our next armor set, actually. Proclamation of closure of mines. The mines near Vergen have been overrun by beasts and will be closed until further notice. To ensure the population's safety, townsfolk are not only forbidden from entering the mines, but also from approaching them. My decision is final and binding for all, even those individuals who might beg to differ. You know who I mean. If anyone takes exception to this decision, please see me during working hours. Interesting. Baltimore considered dead. It is hereby announced that the search for Baltimore, our beloved runesmith, has been concluded. The distinguished Thorak, whose craft we all know and value, is hereby appointed Baltimore's successor. However, anyone who manages to ascertain the cause of Baltimore's death, or establish his whereabouts should the venerable smith prove to be alive after all, must inform me immediately of the discovery. All who provide news supported by evidence shall be duly rewarded. Okay. Need an investigator? Seek a specialist experienced in conducting criminal inquiries to help solve a series of mysterious murders of young males, both elven and human. A generous reward awaits the individuals who ascertain the identity of the perpetrator or perpetrators and meets out just judgment. For additional information, find me by the Cauldron. Elias. Okay, interesting. And Harpy Queen. Attention, I hereby place a bounty on the Harpy Queen, or as some call her, the Mother Harpy. Be warned that the beastie is no nestling. Many would-be killer has shattered his teeth on her, so the fight will be difficult. The brave soul that rids us of this winged bitch will not regret it. So the alderman, he's got a lot of bounties going on here. Very interesting. So yeah, Shard of Ice. Basically, the story was about how we kind of followed Yennefer around, and we were in this city that was kind of shit, and I say we as in Geralt. And then we run into this Istred guy who basically rubs in our face that the night after Yennefer was with us, she was also with him, like the morning after. And then it goes on to say like they've got this big history between them. And honestly, I was kind of pissed at first. Like, I was, like, really frustrated.
Look,
and then Geralt confronted her about it, said, like, yeah, what's up? And she was like, look, that's just how it is. That's how it's always going to be. I've got feelings for this guy. I've got feelings for you. Why can't I be with both, kind of thing? And then Geralt and Istrid ended up confronting each other. And there was, they were gonna have, like, a duel to kind of settle, like, who was gonna like take her or win her over, but they both knew that if they did that she would kind of be pissed, and so the winner wouldn't even see her because she'd probably run off and they'd be chasing her and she'd be all mad and wouldn't talk to them forever and ever. And so it was kind of both like writing a death wish almost, right? And I kind of inferred this a little bit, but I think honestly that they were both so just jealous and uncomfortable with the situation that they were like inadvertently committing suicide. Like there was a passage where Geralt was in the alleyway and he kind of just like came to, and some guy was like I think he was getting the shit beat out of him basically, and picking on people that he shouldn't have been picking on, and just like really drunk, but just kind of his own natural defenses, he kind of saved himself and didn't get killed. And then Istred, he wanted to challenge Geralt to a duel, but he didn't want to use any magic, and he's like a sorcerer. So he wanted to fight with swords, knowing that Geralt would full on kill him, right? But then he wouldn't have this pain of like not being able to have the woman that he wanted. And then at the end, it was really interesting because she sent this bird, a kestrel, I believe the bird was called. And she sent this bird with a note to Istred, who said, and the note basically said, like, look, you know, we can't have what you want, which is basically him wanting to be with her forever. And then there was kind of an inference that she also wrote a very similar note to Geralt, and he was saying, I know what I'm going to get when I get back to the inn, and that kind of left it at that. Within there as well, there was something where there was a conversation between Yennefer and Geralt where Geralt or she was saying, you can't say it, can you, Geralt, or something like that. And I think she was referring to the fact that he wouldn't tell her that, like, he loved her. I don't know if it's that simple, but there was something that he wouldn't say. She also hated the fact that he called himself a mutant. I thought that was very interesting. But yeah, it was quite good. I like to see that kind of that uneasiness in their relationships, and to her it's like that's just how it's going to be, so you either take it or you leave it. And she's very upfront about her feelings for both people, but Geralt, he did not like that. And it was kind of a little bit too about how he doesn't have feelings, like he can't feel emotion kind of thing. But then there were certainly times where he did feel emotion. I think that freaked him out a little bit. So I thought it was a great short story. I thought it was actually a really great short story, and I enjoyed it very much. So anyways, Zoltan.
Geralt, sit down. We haven't yet celebrated your raid into the mist. Ah, sorry. Where are my manners? Sheldon Skaggs, veteran of the battles of Sodden and Brenna.
And all ends along the way.
You've already met Vergen's elder?
Greetings.
Gentlemen, not sure about you, but my throat's parched from all these greetings.
It's funny. Those were the first words out of your mouth.
Master Dandelion's right. Around for everyone. On me.
Yeah,
I'll
let's
gladly
drink.
wash the road's dust from my throat, especially in such good company.
Too bad Caleb Stratton's not here. May he rest in peace.
A worthy dwarf he was. Here's to him.
Sheldon, you're lagging behind.
I've got a little screw coming tonight.
More reason to drink makes you more vigorous.
My prick withers like an old crone's tits if I drink.
Tie a carrot to it.
So,
That's
what
hilarious.
brings you here, Geralt?
Well, to be honest, I've got a lot of things going on. Have you heard of the Dun Banner and its standard?
Called the Dun Banner? Apparently they left their standard behind during the last war. I need to find it if I'm to lift the curse.
Aye. The standard lies in a crypt with those of the unit who perished here.
Where's this crypt?
Not the easiest place to find. Turn right past the market and look for a passage carved right through the rocks. That'll lead you to a valley filled with tombs and crypts.
To the fallen!
Okay.
Have you ever heard of a plant called the Dwarven Immortelle?
Have we? The pigs have tight arses.
To tell the truth, I've no idea, Skaggs.
It's just a saying.
You're the only one using it.
Witcher, the Immortelle. It appears most often near anthracite and aluminosilicate deposits.
Philippa needs it to heal Saskia.
A rare curio, but there's a mine nearby, and who knows? You might find it deep underground.
Why are you dwarves fighting for Saskia?
If I had a knack for business, I'd be sitting on my arse in my own inn, not giving a shit for this war. But what's my trade? Axe swinging. That's what. And if I could get killed, I'd rather know what I'm risking my neck for.
The woman's cuckoo, ready to spit in the Emperor's face even. But I have to admit, she knows all about warcraft. And damn it, she's right. Free Vergen, no matter if you're a dwarf, man, or mangy elf.
Do you hear him, Zigrin? Down on the elves already. And I bet he wouldn't sniff at 30 additional archers in battle.
It's interesting, like, Saskia, she's like intoxicating almost. In the very limited time that we saw her speak to her group, I was like, yep, I'll fight for you. I like her. So where's the mine exactly?
Far?
Not at all. It's in Vergen itself, in the town's upper quarter.
You're eager for this expedition, but nobody told the Witcher that the mine's closed.
Closed? That's true. But it's long overdue a cleaning. Weed out all the underground shit.
What are you talking about?
Not a month ago, miners started disappearing. Must have tapped the wrong vein and woken some scum from the deep. We wanted to send a crew of stout fellows in, but Saskia said she needs all the soldiers she can find up top, ready to defend the town. We closed the shaft, fearing the filth would emerge and overrun us all.
Looks like we arrived just in time, eh, Geralt?
So it seems.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right on. With this crew, we needn't fear any monster. How about you, Sheldon? You coming with us, or staying around to get your fuck?
Another chance that this won't come around in a hurry.
Jesus.
Fucking can wait. I'm with you.
Let's meet at the mine's entrance.
Let me tell you about the...
Well, everyone's pumped. How can I not go?